This time around, we're taking a preview look at an upcoming free-to-play game that, in my opinion, everyone should be excited for, Path of Exile. This game is an action RPG, so if you're at all excited about Diablo 3, this should catch your eye. This is no Diablo game, however. It clearly sets itself apart with its graphical style and gameplay right from the start. As you can see, this game goes for a much more detailed, realistic look. It's darker, dirtier, and very atmospheric. The art style reminds me a bit of Age of Conan in the way that the character models look. Overall, I find it very pleasing, especially considering that it can be run on older systems. I tested the game extensively on my 4-year-old laptop and it ran and looked great. The only things I had to turn down was shadows, which I put on medium, and anti-aliasing, which I put on 2. There are a number of different classes to pick from, but nothing too groundbreaking. You have your typical warrior, wizard, ranger, and a couple other classes. Unfortunately, there are no options for changing sex or appearance, although, being that this is beta, that can all change when the game comes out. What sets this game apart from Diablo when it comes to gameplay is the unique skills and character development systems in the game, and oddly enough, both of these systems have influences from Final Fantasy games. Whenever you level up, you get a passive ability point that can be spent on this enormous grid that is very reminiscent of Final Fantasy X's Sphere Grid. Each class in the game actually starts off in a different area of the grid that is more suited to that class's specialities. Also, on the outermost areas of the grid, there are some unique passive traits that can give large bonuses to specific things, but at the cost of a large penalty as well. Skills are another interesting element to the game. These function a lot like Final Fantasy VII's materia system. You get gems that you put into sockets of equipment, and so long as you have them equipped, they gain experience points and level up to become stronger. Initially, this means any class can use any skill. However, as the gems become more powerful, so do their requirements. My Marauder, for example, couldn't use the Ice Spear gem once it hit level 3 because he was too stupid. The slots on equipment, like in Final Fantasy VII's system, can have links, and while I never came across any, there are enhancement gems in the game that when paired with regular skill gems add effects such as multiple projectiles or an added AoE effect. Another interesting feature of the game is how potions function. Instead of constantly purchasing pots to refill your health and mana, you have potion bottles, or life flasks, as they're called, that refill themselves the more you kill things. Also, your potion bottles can have magical effects just like equipment does. This is a pretty unique system that I really enjoy. I played through the beginning portions of the beta with 3 different classes, the Marauder, the Wizard, and the Ranger. I enjoyed all 3 immensely, which is surprising because I usually hate Rangers in most games. I also found the current community to be very helpful in explaining things that needed clarification. If you peruse the game's website, you will find that the developers are very adamant about this game staying free to play and to not having any microtransaction system that makes it pay to win. They also seem to be developing a lot of unique systems, such as the bartering system. Currently in the beta, you can't sell items, but in the future, selling items will be more like crafting in that instead of getting gold, which doesn't exist in this game, certain combinations of types and qualities of items will result in different payouts of other items. An example would be you sell a magic bow and a magic breastplate and you receive 2 scrolls of wisdom. Purchasing items from vendors works differently as well. You use scrolls and other items as currency. It's certainly a unique system, but at the same time it has its flaws. I found that I never wanted to use portal scrolls to get back to town quickly because they are used to buy things, so instead I always ran back and forth, which is a bit tedious. Oh, and the stash is a shared stash, which is always good. This is definitely one of the best games I have played in a long while, and the devs have said that it will go open beta in about a month or so. My suggestion is that you keep a close eye on this game because it's shaping up to be one great title.